Welcome to Travelzilla. Make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on social media. Previously on Travelzilla, we've taken you with us on a desert safari in Abu Dhabi, the beautiful capital of the UAE. We've given you a lot of information on the unbelievable city of Dubai. Posted 16 videos, 8 in English and 8 in Portuguese, on the great city of Istanbul, Turkey. We've taken you on a tour of the Vatican City, the world's smallest country. And we've shown you the top attractions and the prettiest squares of Rome, the Eternal City. Now let's head north. You gotta see this. It's Florence, one of the world's most beautiful cities. Let's go. We left Rome after a few wonderful days. The train tickets cost us 25 euros each and the journey was about 1 hour and a half long. This is a review of Samsonite luggage, which is shit, look. Look, it's got no stability, no stability, no stability. We were traveling for over a month and a half, so we packed way more than we needed. And we paid a huge price for it. So much stuff. It took us a while to finally leave the train station, but after we made our way out, we took a cab to the beautiful area in which our hotel was located. The journey cost us about 12 euros, and that was it. We were more than ready to do our check-in and explore. The hotel was walking distance to all the main tourist attractions in town. Our stay cost us around $200 for 3 nights including taxes and breakfast, which was a really good deal. If you want to know more about the Malaspina Hotel, please make sure to watch our review of this hotel. It's available in both Portuguese and English at our channel. So we just got to Florence in Italy. We are very excited to visit this place. I hope we enjoy our visit to Florence. It's one of the world's loveliest cities. We are right now at Piazza San Marco. Have a look. Once at the Piazza San Marco, or St. Mark's Square, we decided to visit the convent of San Marco, which houses the museum of the same name, San Marco. The place is worth visiting for its architecture alone, yet houses incredible pieces of art created by various friars, including the amazing Girolamo Savonarola and Fra Angelico. The museum houses the largest collection of sacred art in Florence, but attention, it opens from 8:15 a.m. to 1:50 p.m. on weekdays, and from 8:15 a.m. to 4:50 p.m. on weekends and holidays. This right here is a very famous piece called The Crucifixion by Fra Angelico, who has painted frescoes throughout this magnificently restored monastery. Another great piece by Fra Angelico is Christ Crucified, which is right in front of you. It's amazing, you guys. When Cosimo de' Medici rebuilt the convent, he commissioned Fra Angelico to paint much of it between the years of 1439 and 1444. Tickets to the museum cost 4 euros per person. Please check their site for more information, okay? The link to the museum site is at this video's description. After a lot of walking, we had to make sure we had a lot to eat. because we're about to climb a lot of steps at our next destination, the Church of Santa Maria del Fiore. So we had ridiculously nice pizza and a fogassa at this awesome place very close to the church. Wonderful. If you come to Florence, come to this place. Welcome to the star of this vlog, the Cattedrale di Santa Maria del Fiore, or Cathedral of St. Mary of the Flower, the main church here in Florence, also called Il Duomo di Firenze due to its huge dome. At first glance, you might assume this is a single attraction, but there are three main things we're going to do here today, and all of them involve a lot of climbing. First, we're going to climb the church tower all the way to the top to get some of the best views of the city. Then we're going to visit the church itself. And last but not least, we're going to climb all the way up to the top of the dome. We're going to have a good look at the artwork painted in the interior of the dome, and then look at Florence from different angles at the top of the dome itself. This church is so much bigger in person. Oh my G. Get ready, but before, make sure you have a nice meal, bring at least one bottle of water with you, and wear some very comfortable shoes. Are you ready to go? Let's go then. Santa Maria del Fiore was built on the site of Florence's second cathedral dedicated to Saint Reparata. But the cathedral was in such poor condition it needed to get renovated. The thing is, it wasn't only too old, it was too small to attend the city's great population growth, so they've decided to build a new one. Well, in order for you to get into this world-famous bell tower, you need to buy a pass that will allow you to visit all of the church's attractions at once. We paid 15 euros, but as of 2018, the price will go up to 18 euros. But you'll have 72 hours to use the tickets opposed to 48 hours, which is what we've had. For more information, check out the links at the description of this video, okay? So, if you're moderately in shape and heights don't make your head spin, prepare yourself for some awesome views of the city. In order for you to make all the way to the top, you must climb 414 steps, but wait, there are many places you can stop along the way. Breathe a little, have something to drink, and admire the view. Check this out. Fucking tired. The reason why we were so out of breath is because we had visited the greatest attractions of Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Istanbul, and Rome in less than a month, with very little rest, and the stairs are quite steep. So, sorry you guys. It was winter, so not the best weather, yet the views were incredible, so picture what this is gonna be like when you come in spring and summer. Are you excited yet? Better be. Let's keep on going, but before, let's take a look at this beauty, the Duomo. Guys, attention! There are no elevators, nor shortcuts, so if you have claustrophobia or heart problems, you're going to have to pass this one, okay? Sorry. I have to go one more level up. Pray for me. The bell tower, or the campanile in Italian, is a splendid example of Florence's Gothic architecture from the 1300s. It was started in 1334 by Giotto, one of the main architects of the time. Even though the tower has been named after Giotto, he's only worked here for 3 years before he actually died. After him, the works continued under Andrea Pisano, who finished the first 2 floors. Andrea's work was interrupted by the Black Plague, so the tower's structure was completed in 1359 by Francesco Talenti. Now we're at the second floor, let's go up. I don't know how can people be so gross and write their names in a World Heritage site like this. Not cool.
Why do people do this?
The tower is only 84.70 meters tall, but it seems so much taller than that, I promise you. The views are totally worth the climb.
Look, that's what we have to do.
The cathedral was begun at the end of the 13th century by Arnolfo di Cambio, and the dome, which dominates the exterior, was added in the 15th century by a designer by the name of Filippo Brunelleschi. Now we're gonna head to the church and check out what it looks like from inside. A statue of each of them can be found outside the church on the right side of it, both admiring a work that took centuries to be finished. In 1420, the works to build the church's dome started and were completed in 1436. The cathedral was consecrated by Pope Eugene IV on March 25, 1436. It was the first octagonal dome in history to be built without a temporary support frame. The Gothic interior is vast and gives an impression of emptiness. The bareness of the church comes from the austerity of religious life preached by Girolamo Savonarola. The frescoes in the interior of the dome were commissioned by Cosimo I, the Grand Duke of Tuscany. Giorgio Vasari, who won the commission, began decorating the dome in 1572. He decided to paint an original interpretation of the Last Judgment. According to his design, the cupola walls were to be painted in concentric circles, the upper region symbolizing the redemption of man's spirit, and the lower part would depict men's descent into the horrors of the underworld. But Vasari died in 1574 and a new painter got commissioned. His name was Zuccari. Their styles were completely different, so the Florentines were appalled when the painting actually got revealed to the public due to the sharp variation in style. This made the restoration of the dome a few years back ever so difficult and more complex. In order for you to get to the dome, you must enter from outside the church, validate your ticket, and climb over 348 steps.
The Duomo of the church.
We're talking about the largest dome ever built at the time it was completed. It was built by Brunelleschi, who unlocked the secrets of Rome's Pantheon and built this landmark. Brunelleschi invented a technology to build the dome. For decades, no one could find an engineering solution to build such large structure.
Holy Mother of Jesus. It's fucking tiring. Wow. Yeah.
Brunelleschi invented the technology to build the dome. For decades, no one could find an engineering solution to build such large structure.
Look at that.
The secret of his technique was the inverted arches. The base of the cathedral was designed in the shape of a flower, and certain rope patterns were used to build inverted arches with the bricks available. The inverted arches were key to the success of the project because instead of the arches pulling the bricks down, causing them to cave in from the top, the herringbone layout of the bricks and the inverted arches combined used gravity to reinforce this structure, which was absolutely genius. I have to say it got a little claustrophobic at times, but as long as it took for us to get there, it was 100% worth it. Because taking a closer look at the frescoes and the beautiful views of the city have certainly paid off. What an amazing view, you guys.
Nighttime now, so we climbed that all the way up there, up that big ball over there, you see. So we climbed all the way up there. Before that, we climbed that tower all the way up. It's endless, as you can see in the video, but the views are breathtaking and totally worth doing it. So we did that first and then that second. Now it's time for refreshments. Ta-da!
Here we are at Piazza della Signoria, one of the city's main squares. It was named after the Palazzo della Signoria, also called Ponte Vecchio, which is the iconic building right in front of me, the one that looks like a castle.
Hi guys, guess where we are today? Florence, one of the world's most famous cities with incredible and incomparable pieces of art, unique architecture and great food. I hope you enjoy a visit to this town. It's excellent.
This place is the main point of origin and history of the Florentine Republic, and it still is the political focus of the city to this very day. The piazza is shared by many important buildings, and it is the gateway to the Uffizi Gallery. This is a great place to visit, both during the day and at night, when it's much more romantic actually. At the square you'll find the beautiful Fountain of Neptune, built by Bartolomeo Manate and Giambologna, around the year of 1565 on occasion of the inauguration of the new aqueduct. It's located right in front of the Palazzo Vecchio. Check it out.
Hi everybody, guess where we are today? We're in Florence. This city is so exciting. There's art everywhere, world-renowned famous pieces of art, and look at this. An open-air museum, isn't it great? I love this place. Great food, great art, great architecture. It's Italy. Welcome to Firenze.
What I just referred to as an open-air museum is actually called Loggia dei Lanzi or Loggia della Signoria. It's located at the corner in front of the Palazzo Vecchio and adjacent to the Uffizi Gallery. It consists of white arches open to the street and filled with great art. It was built between 1376 and 1382 by Cione and Talenti. The lively construction of the loggia contrasts with the severe architecture of the Palazzo Vecchio. At night, it's just as stunning as it is during the day. It's awesome, guys. The loggia is a unique example of an open-air sculpture gallery containing antique and Renaissance art. Oh, and I forgot to say it's totally free. That's incredible, isn't it? With the creation of the Great Duchy of Tuscany, the loggia became an expression of the power of the Medici family at the time. Now it's time for us to take a closer look at the Palazzo Vecchio. Come along! The Palazzo Vecchio, or Old Palace, is the town hall of the city of Florence. Originally, it was called Piazza della Signoria, after the Signoria of Florence, meaning the ruling body of the Republic of Florence. It was given many other names, such as Palazzo del Popolo, Palazzo Ducale, or Palazzo dei Priori, depending on the use the palace had at a certain given time in history. The interior of the palace is exquisite, with very intricate frescoes and sculpted columns all over. Between 1550 and 65, Vasari renovated the palace and changed its interior to adapt to its new use as the head of the government. The courtyard owes its elegant structure to the second half of the 15th century. You can tour the courtyard as well as many other rooms and floors of the palace. Now let's check out one of the world's largest, most important, and leading art galleries, the Galleria Uffizi. Let's go! The Uffizi Gallery is one of the world's most important, most famous, and most visited art museums. It is located at the Piazza della Signoria. It holds a vast collection of priceless works, particularly from a period of time called the Italian Renaissance. The building of Uffizi was begun by Giorgio Vasari in 1560 for Cosimo de' Medici to accommodate the offices of the Florentine magistrates. Uffizi means offices, get it? It's huge! This is the most visited museum in Italy today. Its collections of art came after the ruling house of the Medici died out, and their art collections were given as a gift to the city of Florence. The Uffizi is one of the world's oldest museums, for it had been open to visitors by request since the 16th century, and in 1765 it was officially open to the public. Here is one of the most famous pieces at the Uffizi and of the entire Italian Renaissance, the portrait of the Duke and Duchess of Urbino by Piero della Francesca. Another world-famous piece is The Birth of Venus by Botticelli. Wow! This is so amazing, I can't believe I'm here, you guys. Everyone knows that in order to enter the Uffizi, one may have to wait in very long queues. This happens because only a few people can enter at a time. We didn't wait in lines because it was low season when we visited the place. Now it's time to visit the world-famous Tribuna degli Uffizi. Check this out! The Tribuna is an architectural gem of the 16th century designed by Bernardo Buontalenti. It's a space different in shape, decorations, and use from anything that has come before it. It's an octagonal room with really high walls projected to house some of the museum's most important pieces that used to belong to the Medici family. That includes paintings, statues, rock crystal, and semi-precious stones, so on and so forth. The collection is huge. Uffizi Gallery seems like a maze of incredible art. If you want to plan ahead and avoid lines, you can, for a small fee of course. Tickets can be delivered to you by email, so you can access on your smartphone as well. From the Uffizi Gallery, one can appreciate a very nice view of the world-famous Ponte Vecchio or Old Bridge. Attention! As of March 2018, all museums will introduce seasonal ticket pricing. Admission to the Uffizi will cost 12 euros in the low season and 20 euros in the high season. Some museums in the city will also offer entrance fees at a discounted price if you buy tickets before 9 AM and enter the museums before 9:30 AM. So do your research before you visit Florence to see if any of the deals apply. There's also an entire room dedicated to Michelangelo and other famous artists from Florence during that era. Here, you'll find some exquisite pieces, some amongst Michelangelo's most famous works. You can also appreciate some paintings by the great Leonardo da Vinci. As well as the world-famous Naked Dwarf by Bronzino, a 16th century depiction of the famed dwarf Morgante, jester to the Medici court. Another piece you can't miss is the Medusa by Caravaggio, whose first name was also Michelangelo. The piece was painted in 1597, oil on canvas, mounted on wood. The Annunciation of Leonardo da Vinci is also amongst my favorite pieces, a masterpiece, you guys. The museum also offers an exquisite collection of medieval art, including various pieces by world-renowned artists such as Giotto, who created pieces here in the 1300s that are beautifully displayed. After you're infatuated and overwhelmed by the excessive amount of art and need to process it all, head to the museum's cafeteria. The view from there is pretty cool. After so much walking, I decided to go back to the Duomo at night to check it out for like the 11th time. It's so pretty. Ponte Vecchio or Old Bridge is a medieval arch bridge over the Arno River at its narrowest point. It's believed that a first bridge was built here in Roman times. So that's one of the main bridges here in Firenze. Very, very famous. And now we're gonna walk on it. The bridge has dozens of overhanging shops whose glittering treasures delight visitors' gaze as they pass by. The bridge is made of wood and stone, and in the 1300s it underwent a few reconstruction projects due to severe floods. Ponte Vecchio is very unique because it isn't only a bridge, meaning a functional structure for crossing the river. It's also a road lined with shops. It even has a little square with a fountain, which makes it different from any other bridge I've ever been to. In the 1400s, the bridge was home to many rowdy grocers, butchers, and fishmongers, all activities that produced a lot of noise and unpleasant odors. So in order to improve and clean the bridge, making it more pleasant, Grand Duke Ferdinand I decided to evict the merchants and replace them with goldsmiths and silversmiths. This happened because Florence was changing from a typical medieval city to one of the main centers of the Renaissance.
It's a Rolex.
Very close to Ponte Vecchio there are many shopping streets. One of the most famous is called Via del Tornabuoni, home to some of the world's most famous brands. From there, we checked out the cathedral at night once again on our way to our hotel. The next day we visited the Galleria dell'Accademia, also amongst the world's best and most recognized museums. The art gallery houses a very large collection of paintings by several Florentine artists, mostly between the 1300s and 1600s. It's a much smaller and more specialized gallery than the Uffizi, but is also one of the best known in Italy. It includes works by Paolo Uccello, Domenico Ghirlandaio, Sandro Botticelli, and Andrea del Sarto, as well as large numbers of Florentine Gothic paintings and a large collection of Russian icons. Check this out, this is the 13th century painting room called the Florentine Gothic Room, which is one of the 3 rooms that form this section of the museum. This part of the museum is also dedicated to some pieces from the 1200s. Several gold-backed altarpieces are on display as well. All Gothic paintings displayed here are on wood, such as the painted crucifixes and other religious artworks. This part of the museum has rooms dedicated to the famous Ocaña brothers and to Giotto and his disciples. The star of the show here is the world-famous David by Michelangelo, a masterpiece of the Renaissance created in marble between 1501 and 1504. It's 5.17 meters tall or 17 feet tall. The statue represents the biblical hero David, a very favorite subject in the arts world of the Florence of that time period. Because of the nature of the hero it represented, the statue soon came to symbolize the defense of civil liberties embodied in the Republic of Florence. The eyes of David, with a warning glare, were turned towards Rome. The statue was moved to the Galleria dell'Accademia in order for it to be better preserved. That happened in 1873, and later it was replaced at its original location by a replica. The Gypsoteca has found its permanent location in the hall that already was the women's ward at the old San Matteo Hospital, then incorporated to the Academy of Fine Arts. The works on display belong to Lorenzo Bartolini, one of the most important Italian sculptors between the 18th and 19th centuries, acquired by the Italian state after his death. Almost all plaster casts are original models shaped personally by the artist himself. The exhibition is completed with some paintings of the 19th century masters who have studied or taught at the Academy. Tickets to the Galleria can be pre-booked online for an additional cost of €4. Tickets cost €12, but attention, if you're under 18 years old, regardless of your citizenship, tickets are free of charge. The museum opens from Tuesday to Sunday from 8:15 a.m. to 6:50 p.m. But attention, at 6:20 p.m., the ticket office closes down.
So we're here at one of the train stations in Firenze. You know, the best way to travel through Italy is via Trenitalia. It's by train. So we just came here from Rome. It was great, you know, an hour and a half, pretty quick. And now we're going to Milano. So if you come to Italy and you want to travel through different cities, Trenitalia is the best way to do it, okay? Here we are.
The Trenitalia ride from Florence to Milano takes an hour and 40 minutes if you go direct, and tickets cost about €30. I can't stress the fact that this is the best way to go from Florence to Milano back and forth. Actually, it's the best way to travel through Italy. Next on Travelzilla, we're going to visit the wonderful city of Milan, home to one of the most beautiful Gothic churches in the world. And yes, we're gonna go all the way to the top of this marvel of Gothic architecture. We are gonna get some laundry done, visit some old friends, eat some pizza, and show you the city. Well, while you guess the meaning of this sculpture, I'd like to thank you so much for your precious time. By now, you've definitely become a Travelzilla already. Don't forget to drop a like, leave a comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for your time. See you in Milano. Arrivederci. Bye bye.